Okay, let's go.
Sick. I meant to ask earlier. I apologize for waiting until now. Do we have to have you out of here by a certain time? Do you have like 90 minutes in and out, or are you kind of good to take it as it comes?
Well, I've got like 2 hours.
Okay, perfect. Can do.
And we are apparently live on everything right now, Garrett.
Wonderful. Hello, chat. How are you doing on everything?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Is this our first official multi-stream?
This is first official multi-Twitch, Garrett Twitter, and YouTube. Yeah, we did it all.
Oh my God.
We did it all.
Am I like actually streaming right now? How do I know if I'm streaming on my own Twitter?
It says on live on X there on the side, so that's just happening.
Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, look, people are filing in.
It's official.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. All right, cool. We have officially multi-streamed. Okay. Well, there you go. I was just saying to you.
Achievement unlocked.
Ready for that yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious me. All right. Well, I got YouTube chat up. I guess I should probably pull open Twitch chat just in case. Yes. All right, cool. Wonderful. Well, thanks for doing that, Kyle.
Yeah.
And all right, I'm just getting the recording going on my end.
The
and
same.
That means, yeah, live mics. We are here to entertain. It's a new episode of the Grinding Gear podcast. We've got a lovely guest today. You might be familiar with their work, as their YouTube channel, at least as far as I can see, goes back 10 years all the way to Final Fantasy XIV Goes Rock, A Realm Reborn Dungeon Boss Fight, Nemesis, and Parentheticals. But there's also been some like wildly successful videos, like, for example, 40 Musician Medley, which is welcoming back Soken. There's a 14 Medley with 200 musicians. You may have seen me in the medley with 300 musicians. Maybe you saw him on the stage at FanFest London last year. And maybe you're just aware of the fact that they're about to celebrate 100,000 subscribers, but only if you go and subscribe to their channel right now. Joining us is Husky by the Geek. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. What's up, chat? I hope you are all doing well. And quite a history, 10 years of YouTube, and indeed, FF14 launched my YouTube channel because I love this game and this music way too much. It was like, hey, I'll just pick up my guitar and I'll play this music and do some stuff, and magic happened, and I did my first cover, and here we go.
That was going to be my first question, especially like anyone we have on that has a YouTube channel. Always go and like creep on their channel, see how far back they go. So is 10 years accurate, or were there videos that you like hid and you scrubbed from your channel so that we can't see maybe some less than perfect first attempts at making content?
Yeah, it was my very first video, I think.
Hell yeah.
It was very rough back then, and even like audio-wise, right now, I progressed so much. When I listen to my very first recordings and my first covers, I'm like, I didn't sound very good back then. But I mean, at least it means that I progressed and I've come pretty far right now.
I mean, your channel is popping off. Your views are incredible. You have quite the high subscriber.
Oh yeah, it has been a slow and steady progress on average. It kind of blew up at my scale when I did this big mega collabs with hundreds of musicians. But overall, over the 10 years, it had slow and steady progress.
I mean, certainly it's timeless. It's music, it's not music news. It's, every video can exist in its vacuum, but Garrett knows something about instruments and I know nothing. So I want to make sure I have my small interview before Garrett gets his bigger, more technical expertise interview.
Oh, you're overselling my knowledge of instruments.
Well, you can,
grossly.
Okay, very, very, very well. I will accidentally ask the awkward and possibly insulting questions because I don't know what I'm looking at. and Garrett can salvage the interview on the back end. That sounds better.
That's why there's two of us.
All right. So first up, first video ever, the hat is there. Where'd the hat come from? the dog, the Husky hat.
Yeah. Okay. So I started this channel at I was 20 years old, and I got this hat 4 years earlier when I was 16, and I found this hat. It looked fun. It was on Amazon back then. Now you cannot find it anymore, but I got it on Amazon. And I was used to spend my summer evenings on the beach, playing guitar and drinking rum, way too much.
That sounds wonderful.
Rock star. But over the different days and evenings, people only started to recognize me when I took the hat of the guitar case and put it on my head. And people were like, "Oh, it's the wolf who plays guitar." And so 4 years later, I was like, why not use this to make my channel identity? Because it's already proved in the past that people recognize me through it. So yeah.
Does it have meaning? Like I'm watching your videos, and with the collabs, you show up and it's like, oh, whoa, the hat, it's Husky, it all makes sense. But in your old original videos, the hat was saved to the last guy, the fourth you that showed up. Does the hat player execute a certain level of performance?
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, the hat is dedicated to playing the lead guitar melody.
Okay.
I play bass, rhythm guitar, some harmonies on a arrangement guitar. I call it like this, and then the lead guitar which plays the principal melody, and this is where I put the hat on.
Excellent. So if I'm watching the hat, I mean, it works so well. It's such like, I can't believe this is your first video because it works so well. You're into it. Your head is down. You're working hard, and you're just hypnotized by this dog hat getting down, and it just comes in at like the right moment. I'm glad I was right about this. I'm glad I solved at least part of this musicianal business.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah. But yeah, when I started to play, I was pretty shy back then, and I didn't look at the camera much. I don't do it a lot nowadays because I play very difficult songs right now. But back then I was like, okay, I'm on my guitar, I'm performing, and yeah, indeed, you could see only my hat. Yeah.
I mean, that's great. Yeah, I mean, just thinking about like getting started with content creation and it more and more when we have guests on, the conversation tends to go that way because at this point in time, everybody that we have on, they're making something. And so we've been talking a lot of shop on the show with our last few guests. And yeah, we're a little older than you, so none of this is meant to be like a brag, but we've been doing it longer. And it's like even harder for me to kind of think about just how socially awkward I was when I started making stuff on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when Kyle and I started making stuff together, it was audio only. So we really got to be as bashful as humanly possible. The only thing we needed to do was be comfortable with our voice, which I wasn't in the beginning. But yeah, and then when we made the jump to video, it was like doing it all over again.
It's really fun to see how everyone progress through the years, and you see people at the beginnings of the stuff and channel, and how confident they are today, and for you as well. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's everyone's content journey is very much its own thing. So all right, Kyle, you got the hat. What's next in your lineup of curiosities?
Honestly, that was the big one. If I was wrong about the lead musician kind of hat business, I was going to check out completely. I was nervous because that was like, okay, I think I got this. I think I caught the through line of where it's coming in, why instruments happening. I see a lot of different, like, okay, so here's another question I got for you. The Dawn Trail Battle theme video. All right, I clearly see a wooden guitar. That's going to be different. I see
wooden guitar.
Yes, I see an electric guitar, but there's a green guitar.
Bass.
That's
this one is a bass.
Do you ever change? So is there a normal guitar, an electric guitar that you do more than one of, or is an electric guitar kind of an electric guitar and you've just updated over the years what your primary electric guitar is?
So I use these different guitars for different purposes. My red guitar has an amazing sound and feel when you play highly distorted music. So that's why I use it mainly in my rock and metal songs and playing the lead melodies and stuff like that. Sometimes the rhythm as well. I'm using the 8-string guitar for rhythm because guitars are made of different wood and electronic stuff. So 2 guitars will not sound the same. So when you mix different guitars, it's better using different instruments rather than only one, because it's easier to spread up in the mix and to make it sound better with different instruments if you prefer. So that's why I have 1 guitar for lead, 1 guitar for rhythm, and I use the FF14 Stratocaster guitar all the time for harmonies and clean tones and crunch tones as well.
Very cool. Okay. All right.
I'm just tickled pink that you weren't familiar with a bass, Kyle. That's.
I think it has to do with
I'm not even teasing. I wish I remember a time when I didn't know the difference between a guitar and a bass guitar.
It's the number of strings, right? That'd be the main look.
No.
Yes and no.
I mean, traditionally, yes.
The number of string is the easy way. Yeah.
It's also the size of the instrument, and practically speaking, like the note, or like the key or the note registry. Like a bass is much lower.
It's 1 octave lower than a guitar, and of course the sound is very different because it's not the same instrument at all. Bass is my favorite instrument, by the way. I started music with it, and even when I played live with my previous bands, I had way more fun playing bass than guitar because it's just my playground.
I've been playing. Do not take this as I am any good, as you know, because you've heard my clean recordings. You know how mediocre I am at guitar.
No,
I've been playing guitar.
Don't sell yourself short.
I've been playing guitar, I think, since 98 or 99, I think is when I started playing guitar. I was like 12 or 13. I forget how old I was. I was young. I just bought a bass a little over a year ago. That cheapo Squire behind me is I got it because I've like my whole life I've been interested in bass. And I got to say, I feel like I missed out because I immediately find it more fun to play than guitar. I'm garbage. I'm like, it is so funny starting back over at square one. But yeah, it's there's something about finger picking I find very fun. And I'm very bad at it with the bass.
I love the feel of the strings under the fingers when you play bass. Mm-hmm. And the thing about bass is that the instrument is easy to pick up, but really hard to master. To make it groove, to make a solid groove, it's not easy at all, and it requires years of practice and mastery to achieve it.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's hard. I'm curious if I could go back in time and try both guitar and bass simultaneously, like which one I would pick up faster. But
yeah,
at this point in my life, I'm like, oh boy, bass is so much harder than guitar.
Yeah, I wish that for piano as well. I wish I could play piano. I don't have the time to practice it either. But now I'm writing a lot of original music. I mean, playing piano would have been an interesting tool to write music for me nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of composers. That's where they start is with the piano because it's just so versatile in trying to like come up with a score. So I'm curious because anyone who's a musician, like I feel like most folks I talk to that play an instrument, they were like either forced into or stumbled onto like something first that they didn't love, and then eventually they moved to something that they liked because it was their choice and they stuck with it. And for me, that was piano. Parents forced me to play piano, and I didn't know what to do with that because I didn't listen to anything that had piano. So I had no appreciation for the instrument, and I didn't understand how it translated into music that I liked listening to. And so there was a guitar in the house, and so I was like, all right, I'm going to go pick this up because I listened to a lot of rock, still do. Did you just start with bass and you were off to the races, or was there an instrument before you kind of locked in with?
When I was a kid, I took guitar lessons on acoustic guitar, but the very scholar approach made me sick of music, and I haven't touched an instrument for like 5 years. And after that, when I started by playing bass, the lessons I took were very special because my teacher made me do only improvisation with him. So he was either on his piano or he took his guitar. He launched his beatbox. He did like 5 minutes of theory music, and then we played live for 1 hour once a week, and it was amazing. And I love this approach, and I cannot read sheet music. I cannot write sheet music. So when I do my collabs, I just write the thing of my software, then I export it for them on a sheet music format that I cannot read. But at least I learned to improvise a lot, and I'm very at ease with that now.
That's incredible because like because we have some listeners who aren't as into Final Fantasy 14 or as tapped in as other listeners, and so for folks that are tuning in that they're maybe being exposed to you for the first time, I want to set up that like your YouTube channel has just tons and tons and tons of covers, reorchestrations of video game music. Typically, I would say with a rock edge, but not always. You have a lot of really beautiful, clean acoustic work as well.
Thank you.
So that's what we're going to get into here now, because I'm really baffled. I'm beyond impressed. I'm just kind of staggered by some of the work that you've done when you've done these medleys with hundreds of musicians. And even recently I got to take part and collaborate with you on your 300 musician medley for you were sending off Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker as we were reaching the end of that expansion's life. And I had seen a few videos. We've played through almost the entirety of Final Fantasy 14's MSQ publicly, and what comes with that is requests to react to videos. So we had seen a couple of your videos before. I hadn't digested a ton because there's always spoilers concerns, and I don't personally consider music spoilers, but I do, so I figured, okay, I'll stay away. But like I said, I was just staggered because I know I was in garage bands growing up in high school. I came out of I was very much into the punk scene, which is kind of the opposite, I would say, of what you do, which is like you were so technically.
I grew up with punk music as well.
Okay.
My teenage years were full of punk. And I love Rancid, by the way. I love the shot.
That's wonderful, because you're and I'm not even taking down genre or anything, but typically punk rock music is not it's not about your technical ability. It's a little more stripped down, a little more raw. But that's what I grew up playing, and I had been in some bands that had some originals, and this was like way before any of us could afford to have like a computer with any sort of tracking software. So we were using like 4-track and 8-tracks, if you remember those devices. Like they were physical recorders that would let you, if you were lucky, overlay 4 individual recording tracks. And so I was when I was exposed to your 100+ musician medleys, my brain just like exploded. I'm like, how do you even begin to edit all of this together, to track all of this together? And then when I started working with you and I realized that you also write each individual piece and then dish it out to each individual person.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
was dumbfounded. It's so impressive, and it is a monumental task. Like
It is.
so I guess my first question is, where did you get your first idea to even do a multi-musician medley?
Before I answer, let me ask, Kyle.
Yeah.
What about you? What music did you grow up with? What genre of music? Is it punk like us?
No,
Rock, metal,
the radio, whatever the radio played.
radio?
Yeah. I saw the sign. Who was that? 80s mostly. My dad would play Phantom of the Opera. He was a morning person, so he'd wake up at 5 a.m. and just crank opera in the house, and we were all just staggering out of bed, and he's just singing along. So there was music, but I never personally really connected with music until probably my goth phase with like a Marilyn Manson sort of thing. But even that wasn't there. And then I heard Dragon Force, and I was like,
oh yeah,
hold up, we can be wizards. And since then, it's been very like Sabaton kind of hair metal, power metal kind of bands.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Now, I have a question before we go any further, though. Earlier, you said you would improvise with your teacher, and then you'd play live for an hour. Would you go outside and play in front of people?
No, when I mean live, I just mean we were playing, just playing.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah. That's a really what a passionate way to learn a lesson.
At the end of I mean, every year the school did some concert with the students, but we played only covers. So I was one of the few bass players there. So I played a lot of songs at every of this concert, and it helps me to familiarize myself with the stage and how to play with an audience, stuff like that. Yeah. For Garrett's question about the medley, my first multi-scale project was with 20 or 40 musicians. I don't remember. I think it was 40 musicians. It was the Welcome Back Soken medley, because I don't think you started playing FF14 a few years ago, right?
Yeah, we're I think coming up on 3 years for ourselves. So I think
So you didn't see the Digital Fan Fest a few years ago?
No, but we have since caught up on some of that. Like we've seen the big speech.
Yeah, the big speech. So Soken told everyone that he was victorious about his fight against cancer, and I was in a Discord channel with a lot of artists, musicians, and lots of creators of art on FF14. And I just had the idea of why not making a piece of music to thank Soken and celebrate his victory and the fact that he's back with us. And so yeah, I did this a few days after the Digital Fan Fest when we launched the news. And so 40 people reached out to me, and I wrote the full arrangement, and as you know, I sent each musician a different part suited to their level, and I took 3 weeks to complete this thing. And back then, I was not doing music full time. I was working in IT. I was a web developer. So for 3 weeks, I was doing this on all my free time after I got back from work.
Oh, wow.
And it was amazing because even today, Soken told in interview how much he loved this project. It's very special for him and for me as well. And I'm really happy that he loved it so much. And even outside of that, bringing the community on my channel to give them the spotlight, it's something that really makes me happy. Because when I started music, I was envious of this kind of multi musician collabs and stuff like that. So now I am doing my own, and I'm really happy to give that chance to everyone.
That's rad. Yeah, because again, it's like these. I mean, everything you make is really really rad. But as someone who does just video editing and production, the staggering size of what you take on with your medleys is mad impressive, and
Thank you.
you should be proud.
I am super exhausted every time I finish a project like that, and every time I do, I'm like, okay, it's the last one, and oh yeah, FF7 Rebirth is coming out. Oh, why not doing 1 minute drill with how many musicians want to come? Okay, 200. Oh fuck.
Yeah, sign yourself up for I'm exhausted just thinking about your timeline. Do you use Premiere or do you use a different program for this?
I'm on Vegas.
Okay.
But anyway, it crashed a lot, but all video software would crash with so many files anyway.
There's no way. No program.
I don't like the video aspect of my job. I am a musician and a producer, composer, but I do the video because I have to, but I don't enjoy it. So when I was at the university, I studied IT along with a lot of general branches like video, communication, stuff like that. And I skipped video classes because I didn't like it back then. And now I regret it because I have a lot of limitations in knowledge.
Yeah, I was completely self-taught on video too. Just like it wasn't even offered when I was at least in what I decided to study. But yeah, it's like I wanted to get into like audio. Like we were doing podcasting, and then Twitch blew up. Suddenly, people wanted live streams, and I went kicking and screaming. I think streaming and just kind of video content in general is like the thing I missed the boat on the hardest. It took me so long to kind of respect it and adopt it and decide that it was something that should be part of what we do. So that I really I feel a sense of kinship on that.
Yes, streaming is an important aspect nowadays. A lot of people ask me if I will do streams some days, but I don't think I will because I'm an introvert, and having to entertain a chat and people, it will be fun, but it will be also very exhausting for me. And I don't have the energy for that after working a full day, and I just want to chill during the evenings.
So you talked about doing your first medley and how you fit it around your work schedule. Is this your work now full time?
Yeah. 2 years ago, I left my day job to do music full time. I'm very grateful for that because it took me like 8 years to realize this dream of mine. I mean, now I am living off my music, so I'm happy. I'm just enjoying life from now, and I'm keep doing it. And now I'm taking bigger projects, like I'm working on video game soundtracks. I do commissions for streamers on top of that, and I do my weekly covers because it's my bread and butter, and it's what I enjoy the most, and it pays my bills as well. So yeah.
That's massive congrats. I love hearing these kinds of stories because I always wanted to work for myself. It was, I mean, part of me also like wanted to go work for a gaming studio, and it got further and further away from the realm of possibility. But I grew up in a I grew up in a family where my mom and dad, they ran a business. They still run a business. I don't know why I'm talking in past tense. They still have their business. They're alive and well. But I always liked that idea of being able to do my own thing. Was that the case for you, or do you feel like you kind of fell into being your own boss and starting up your own business?
I was really happy to be my own boss because at my day job, I was a web developer in I don't know how to tell it in English, but it's like the equivalent of a town hall, maybe for the mayor. I work for the mayor in public services.
Okay.
So the big leader, the big chief, was the mayor, and in public function, it's a lot of politics. And in the last years of my day job, when the mayor changed, we were doing more diplomatic stuff instead of IT because we had to do everything for the directors who didn't know anything about what we had to do. So it was exhausting at the end. So I was more than happy to leave it and work for myself and set up my own hours and not having a boss. So yeah.
You were doing the internet magic. They would say, just make it happen. And you were expected to
yeah.
just wonderfully put it to, and at the end of your day, you were coming home and working on the YouTube. Wow.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. I was the only developer in my services. My colleagues were technicians and network administrators. So I did a lot of tech stuff as well. But when I got home, I had to work on my channel because during a lot of years, I did only one video a month at a slow and steady pace, and it was fun. But when I started to feel that maybe I had an opportunity to save, I started to do 3 videos a month for like 2 years, and it was exhausting, but it was worth it because now I am doing it full time thanks to this.
That's just awesome. I just want to celebrate anyone who makes that dream happen, because for like
I'm very lucky and grateful for that because a lot of people do music. A lot of people even create better music than I do, and they don't have the numbers to make a living from it, unfortunately. And it's a bit of a gamble. And yeah, I'm super grateful to be able to live from my passion.
I find the pursuit of doing any sort of creative work for a living, for yourself, just endlessly fascinating. I think anyone who's done it, who's gone after it to any level of success, they're going to have a good story to tell. Because like you just said, and I've been picking up on this on everything you've been talking about. Like you talk about how you don't like the mute or the video aspect of what you do, but you do it anyway because you feel like you have to. And then you just said, in your opinion, there's plenty of other musicians that are better than you that aren't finding the same success that you are. Like so much of pursuing any sort of creative endeavor is it's a combination of like ability, luck, and timing. But you can help your chances through
by doing more.
Exactly, but and I like sheer consistency and force of will, which it seems like you do. Because same thing here. Like I don't know, like even the last 3 years where Kyle and I have really swapped to streaming. It's like I would love to just turn on the stream and do whatever I feel like, but we sit down, we have meetings. Okay, what are we doing? What day?
What was your job before doing this full time, by the way?
Graphic designer.
Okay, and Kyle?
Data entry. Data entry.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I was doing graphic design, and I had a little taste of freelance on the side. I would moonlight and take on commissions to do like logo designs, and eventually I started working on tabletop games. So I did a couple board games and card games, stuff like
amazing.
that. Yeah, and it was fun, but from like on the nerdy side of things, the things I was passionate about, I really just wanted to do anything in video games because I've always liked games, and so that's why I started podcasting as a hobby, and Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
not the folks have heard my story, so I won't relive it. But over the course of years, it slowly kind of just by venture of doing it became a small business. And one day I was kind of forced to make a decision. The job I had at the time, the boss called. Mind you, I already wasn't like getting benefits. They were keeping me just under the amount of this is the thing that happens in America, where companies will keep you just under 40 hours a week, so they're not legally required to give you any benefits. So I was already like, it was a steady job, but it was like barely keeping the lights on. And my boss called me and said, "Hey, we're going to take you down to like 16 hours a week," which would have been like an 80% loss of my income from them. And I sat down, I looked at the numbers of what I was bringing in from content creation, and I had a couple contracts going, and then I had potentially another contract that was at least going to be a year's worth of work. So I called up the point of contact on this dangling maybe going to happen contract and was like, I kind of pushed them like, "Hey, you think, can we lock this in?" And was able to lock that in. And then I called my boss back and told him to shove it where the sun don't shine. And I quit.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah. So that was my story, more or less.
Yeah.
So it was,
Wow.
doing that ever since. That was back in 2016. So it's been going good.
Do you have a video, Husky, that kind of like to you is that crossover to full time? That kind of to you is the okay, now after all the evenings, I made it. We're full time. Let's do this.
I just announced it on Twitter and a YouTube post and Discord, but I did not do a video about it. Luckily, I started reading full time at the release of Endworker. So I did a lot of Endworker videos during the first few months full time, and I had a blast doing so. Finally.
Sure. So, okay. So walk me back a little bit here, because you start out with A Realm Reborn, which again, like these are timeless songs. They come up all the time, even in Dawn Trail. So those are going to constantly kind of get pinged on YouTube. Awesome. I see some older things in here. Like one of the first things I went to was Song of Storms. You know, you gotta love Song of Storms.
My favorite Zelda song. Yeah.
So what got you into gaming growing up?
My very first video game was Mario Kart 64.
Nice.
I was 3 years old, and my brother and sister were playing it all the time. So I played a bit with them. And fun fact, they were chatting in their room, and I was just having fun with the controller, and I was like, "Oh, it's doing a fun noise when I do this," and I just deleted the save. And they were mad.
Oh no.
And I remember the sound of destruction when you delete a save file on Mario Kart 64. It's stuck in my brain right now. And yeah, after that, I grew up with Super Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time. And I played a lot with my uncle on computer, so he made me play Diablo 2 when I was a kid as well. And he made me play emulators pretty early, so I played Super NES and Mega Drive games when I was a kid still. So a lot of Mega Man and Sonic games mainly. Then I got a Dreamcast, so I fell in love with Sonic Adventure and some other games that I forgot because I was way too young.
Okay, well, let's say hypothetically, no, this is for real. I do have a 4-year-old son. What age did you play Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time at?
When did it came out?
98, I believe. 1998, I think.
98, yeah. So I was maybe... I don't think I played it at 6. I'm from 93, so maybe I was 7. Yeah, maybe in 99 I'll play it.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, that sounds pretty solid. Yeah.
But I didn't finish it back then. I finished it like when I was a teenager, I took my revenge on it. Yeah.
I need to do that with some of the old Genesis Sonics that I never beat when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm a little older than you, so I started with the NES and the Genesis.
I need to do that with Destructo. Oh my God, what's it called? No. Okay, Blast Corps. I need to do that with Blast Corps. That thing was impossible when I was a kid. I need to go back and beat that. But I see a lot of Sonic in there too. So yeah, so definitely kind of Sonic's got some freaking rocking music. That thing
Sonic has
gets
some
down.
amazing music.
A few months ago, I saw the Sonic Symphony concert in Paris, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life. It was outstanding, and I know they tour a lot in America, in the US. So if you like Sonic, I highly recommend you guys to go watch it.
The first
It's outstanding.
Sonic is probably the first time I ever remember like being into video game music. That's like, obviously Mario used to, when I was a little kid, I had Super Mario Brothers. I used to, hum the da 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 da, but like I wasn't passionate about that.
Yeah.
But then I got Sonic 2 with my Genesis, which was like a hell of a Christmas. That was a good time. And like still this day, like I think about the Casino Night Zone music. Like that is one of my favorite video game tracks like of all time. And it was just the first time I ever remember like thinking of music in games as a thing, like a thing that like a piece of the overall whole that is a creative work that is a video game. Because before that, it was just kind of like, okay, I don't know. I was a kid. I didn't think about how things were made or the individual pieces that, make something a larger thing, larger piece of the whole. But yeah. And then after that, for me, it was probably Pokemon. I played so much of the original generation Pokemon that, I've been playing it again recently. I've fired up a new save of Fire Red just because I've been feeling nostalgic. And
the first, Gen 1, 2, 3 were my favorites. Gen 2 is my highly favorite.
Oh, nice. I've never beaten a Pokemon that wasn't Gen 1. I have started a ton of other Pokemon games, but Gen 1's the only games I've beaten many, many, many times. Especially counting, like some console games like Coliseum and stuff like that.
Oh, Coliseum was sick.
Yeah, I played a lot of Snap and a lot of Coliseum.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, that is freaking yeah, Kyle, we talk with our chat a lot about like what was the generation that made you like a gaming fan that kind of took you from, oh, it's a hobby to like I love this. And I love that you said you brought up Ocarina of Time, because Kyle and I usually come back to 1998. It was like the best year for gaming. It was Ocarina of Time. It was Half-Life. Like games were just exploding that year.
Oh yeah. And now here we are again, huh? This year and last year as well. So
Last
many
year
games.
was bananas.
Yeah, but this one too. I mean, in October I have 4 games that I want to play that release a few days apart. It's so crazy.
I mean, what are you looking at? What are you playing?
In October, there is a Metaphor ReFantazio by the creators of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei.
Right.
There is a Diablo 4 expansion. Yep. There is Sonic and Shadows Generation and the new Dragon Ball Z, the Sparking Zero fighting game as well.
Nice.
So many. It's only in October, and I don't even know when they are going to release the Dragon Quest III remake and all the other stuff. I don't know. I don't have the time. What about you? What are you looking forward to?
This year, I'm not sure. I've been like tripping over things I wasn't expecting to care about. Like I've recently got on a Balatro kick. Have you heard of this card game?
No, I'm not into card game much.
It's based on like real world, like a deck of cards, and but it's a roguelike. Like it's a deck builder. And so you're assembling poker hands, but you get like jokers and modifiers that let you build a deck that's bigger or smaller. Like you can really basically cheat, but in really fun, creative ways at creating poker hands.
It looks fun.
And that's been like that. This has been the year of surprises for me, because Balatro and Helldivers 2 are probably my, like, other than all of the time I've been spending in Final Fantasy 14, like my two biggest games of the year. And I knew Helldivers was coming out, but I never played one. I didn't care. And Balatro just came out of nowhere, and I'm even late to it. I think it's been out for 2 or 3 months, and I've just heard so many people have been like, Garrett, you know, you like Magic, you like Hearthstone, you should try Balatro. I'm like, okay, fine, because it's not very expensive. And I picked it up, and I think I've already put about 20 hours into the game in like 2 weeks, which is a lot for me because I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. I'm trying to like get through the MSQ, and we take time aside to go run extremes blind without researching them. So that's a very time intensive game. To get 20 hours in a game over 2 weeks is like nuts for me.
Well, I'm still catching up from last year. Like we only just finished. I mean, Elden Ring DLC just finished. I'm desperately trying to maybe co-op Baldur's Gate 3. You know, that's only the biggest game you've ever seen in your life.
Fun thing, my girlfriend started playing Baldur's Gate 3 last month. So I restarted a playthrough of it. And I finished I played it last year for the first time, but I never finished my second playthrough as the Dark Urge. So I finished it recently, and I played the very first Baldur's Gate after that. I finished it like yesterday, and I loved it, and I have to try the second one now.
Oh my goodness! Oh, good choice with the Dark Urge. That's a good.
So, did you finish your solo playthrough of the Baldur's Gate 3? Or
no, I got I finished Act 2, and I was like, oh my god, this game, it's so big.
Act 3 is the biggest.
Yeah.
If you only finished Act 2, I think you are only at the half point of the game. Because as the final act is so massive. It's crazy.
But then I just got I know it's a bit old now, but I got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with my 4-year-old son.
Oh yeah.
And that intro song is one of the most insane things I've ever heard in my life. Like, it's one thing for a Final Fantasy song to have an opera singer come in and do a whole thing, but watching Kirby sing about the flames of life and hope as he hits Mario into space, that's got to be the most insane video game music I've ever seen in my life. So obviously you've done tons and tons of Final Fantasy.
Dude, I love AAA games. I cannot wait for Star Wars Outlaws. Like that. It is like the Star Wars game. I think it's the Star Wars game I've always wanted. Like I cannot wait to play this thing.
I hope it will be good, but I don't usually enjoy the Ubisoft Formula game.
I haven't.
So I wait.
Flag.
I don't know if I will play it. I will wait for reviews and stuff like that. But recently I've played Star Wars Survivor last year.
I just started that up. I'm really enjoying it.
I love Fallen Order, and this one has a better story. But overall, I think I prefer Fallen Order.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think I'm only about maybe 8 hours into that, and I've been horribly distracted by like all of the side exploration. So I haven't seen a ton of the story, but Jedi Survivor those are good games.
So I think with Interrupted Kyle, you were talking about Final Fantasy, I think.
Yeah, so how did that, I can start to see the pipeline, and if I were to make it up for you, I see, okay, your uncle, you were playing Diablo 2, so you played Warcraft, and that kind of took you to World of Warcraft and the Final Fantasy? Is that kind of the pipeline?
It's a pipeline. I'm still a big MMO player, so I played WoW since Vanilla, and I come back at every expansion. I played a lot of MMOs like Star Wars Galaxies, Dark Age of Camelot, but I was a kid, so still I didn't know what I was doing back then. Guild Wars, Star Wars The Old Republic. And about Final Fantasy, it was I was maybe 10 years old when I started with Final Fantasy IX. That it was to my brother, but he didn't enjoy FF9. He's a FF8 lover and only FF8. So I borrowed his FF9 and I played it, and I was stuck at the end of the first disc because I was 10 years old and didn't know how to play an RPG back then. And it was the Aquatic Monster right before Blue Messiah, I think. And I came back like 4 years later, and I kicked the game, and I played it from the start to the end, and I loved it. After that, I played FF13, that I love for its music, its gameplay. It's my favorite gameplay of the series. Its areas as well. After that, I played FF10, that I loved as well. It's one of my favorites. In the meantime, I was also playing all the old FF from 1 to 6 on emulators, but I didn't finish this back then. Then much later, after having played FF14, I wanted to discover all the source of the Easter eggs present in FF14. So I played all the Final Fantasy games that I've never played before, except FF11 because I don't have the time to sink into this massive MMO. So yeah, no, I'm up to date. No, I'm up to date with all mainline FF games.
Wow.
Nice.
I'm chaotic evil when it comes to my Final Fantasy fandom. 10 was the first one I ever played. Didn't beat it because I was terrible at RPGs. Similar to you, I had no idea what I was doing. I had, other than Pokemon, never played a game like that in my life. And I didn't really kind of recognize it for what it was. Then played some 10-2, didn't beat that. Beat Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and earlier this year I went back and beat Final Fantasy 1. So Final Fantasy 1 is the only Final Fantasy I've technically beaten.
I think it's the shortest as well. So it's like 10 hours long, I think.
Yeah, I did the Pixel remaster for Final Fantasy 1. Yeah, it was great. I highly recommend those. I want something like that for the old
Pixel remasters are great.
Yeah, I want something like that for Pokemon, for the classic Pokemon games. Like let me dial up my experience gain. Like let me speed up the grind aspect.
Yeah. I love this aspect nowadays when you have to farm in autoplay and speed twice or like 4 times. Oh, what a blessing! They did it with FF12 remaster, I think, too. That I played recently, and yeah, the speed up for farming was a blessing.
Yeah, because I don't mind farming, but like I'm older and I don't have much time on my hands. So.
Yeah, we need time now, so that's why.
Yeah, I like to farm, but like let it go faster. So just the auto resolve combat was.
I enjoy grinding as well.
Yeah, it's fun. So, was it just in terms of like kind of getting started on your channel doing 14 music, and obviously you've done other stuff, but there's just so much Final Fantasy 14 music. Is that just because that it has your favorite music? Is it just coming from a place of raw passion? Like what is it about 14 music that over all the other Final Fantasies, every other game you've done a video for, why is that where you tend to return to?
There are several things about that. Luckily, the game is often updated with a lot of excellent new music, and I have a very good feel when I play FF14 music. It's like I don't know how to translate it. Maybe it's a matter of synergy. I have a good synergy with FF14 music, and when I play it, it's a playground. I have a ton of ideas in my head. I have a lot of fun doing it, and it's always a pleasure doing so. So it's just my favorite soundtrack, maybe. Soken became my favorite composer over the years, and I'm very excited every time a new patch comes in, so I can play the raid, the new trials, and listen to the new bangers. And the music is so good. I'm always looking forward to cover it. even since they released the trailers, I'm like, holy shit, the music is good. I want to play the patch right now to play the music. And yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it was something that is fresh enough that I still remember being completely ignorant to when we were wading into 14 for the first time, and I was just like, why is everyone in chat yelling about the music? Like, why does everyone want us to turn the music up, and why they keep asking us what our thoughts are on the music? And now it just seems ridiculous because obviously there's just a massive chunk of the Final Fantasy 14 player base that just kind of like lives for the music in it because it has such a large fan base. But when we were new, it was caught me by surprise. I'm not used to folks being that into the music. I was coming from World of Warcraft where I love the WoW music, but a lot of players mute it. And
WoW music is ambient music. When you do a raid on WoW, I'm like, the music is like, it's too subtle. It's like I don't want to say elevator music, but it's to be a bit extreme. But WoW battle music is unfortunately not memorable. Whereas in FF14, every boss has its own theme, and it's recognizable. You can recognize it immediately.
Yeah, I mean there's much more intent with the music in Final Fantasy 14. Like you said, it's staggering. If you're somehow listening and you've never even like waded into the deep well that is Final Fantasy 14 music, and you want to at least just like very quickly understand just how much like the glut of music that there is in this game, just go pull up any of the Final Fantasy 14 expansions soundtracks. There are so many tracks on these albums. The first time I looked at one, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, for me, World of Warcraft music and WoW, the music that sticks with me is more the zone music.
It's a different purpose.
Yeah, because if you don't mute the music, you're hearing it a lot.
But it does work. Like when you're thinking about like old StarCraft, you know, it's like you hear a little bug in the corner going ching, 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 and you're like, you do your thing, little Zerg bug. Yeah. And like even the Diablo, and then when they like later, when I think of like Heart of the Swarm and you know the later StarCrafts, when they added in like really heavy like bah, bah, it was just stressful. You already had enough going on managing your worker lines and your gas supply. You didn't need music coming in and making it a big deal. So I mean, what is that like? What would you call as a musician like that theme quality? I think of like Avengers or Pirates of the Caribbean, where just like you just make up a theme out of nowhere, and now we have Dawn Trail has this. Every song kind of has this in between. Like what is that called in a technical aspect?
A leitmotif, maybe.
Yep.
You mean a melody that you reuse in several songs?
Yeah, a motif.
Yeah, it's a leitmotif. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soken does it a lot.
Yeah.
But
I think this came up when we talked to Marco as well.
And it makes you feel like you won something. Like every time it happens, your heart goes. It's kind of like, and I saw the sign happen, and you're like, I know that part. I have no idea what you said up to this point, but I'm so happy you said I saw the sign again. And every time he does his little Dawn Trail thing, I go, oh, there it is, hidden inside a new song.
Yeah, it's something that that's really interesting when it comes to music in FF14. Like in Endwalker, for example, the main melody of Flow is also the same melody in Wadzatan, for example.
Yes.
It's the same notes. It's basically the same song, but arranged differently with different instruments to give a full different vibe. And like there are like maybe 5 or 6 different versions of Flow like this. And in Dawn Trail, it's basically the same thing. You have the Dawn Trail theme in Open Sky is the opening. In the dungeon boss and mid boss as well. I think in Tuliolal it's also present, or maybe I'm wrong. Then we have the smile music. It's another melody, a bit like the counterpart of flow, story-wise, and it's also used a lot in the second half of the game, and
Gotcha.
it's a matter of use of leitmotif as well.
Yeah, I think that's what you're looking for, Kyle.
Excellent. So now I can say that with some understanding. And do you find that? So I like looking through your videos. I see like Monster Hunter is another big one that you've made.
I'm a Switch Axe main.
Okay, all right.
But lately I've been playing Great Sword a lot, and it's slowly becoming my new main weapon.
I've been going through the Monster Hunter. What's the new one coming out? Wilds? Is that the
Wilds?
Yeah. They've been putting out the videos for the weapons, and I've been watching them like I'm window shopping. I have no idea what I'm looking at yet. I have no idea. Don't use insect glaive is like burned into my brain by some friends of mine, and I haven't seen that video yet, but I know not to touch it. But do you find that has a similar kind of motif that you connect with those songs as well, or you've done a lot of Monster Hunter content, it seems?
I did a few Monster Hunter songs, yeah. Game-wise, I played MH3, 4, and World. And yeah, in music, they usually, a bit like in FF14, they have, it's not leitmotif, but every monster has his own theme, his own melody. So in Iceborne, when I did the Zynog track, I was like, but I was like, I have already heard this one before, and yeah, because this song was already present in as another version arrangement in the previous games that I've played before. So it's not a leitmotif in Monster Hunter, but let's say it's just a matter of identity. Every monster has his identity, its own music.
So okay, so like when Ifrit shows up and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's Ifrit from Final Fantasy, whatever."
Yeah.
The monsters in Monster Hunter have that much legacy to them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
I mean, I knew that about the Rathalos.
Yeah, when you hear the Devil Joe or the basic girls coming to fuck you up, you recognize the music immediately because you are so used to the explosions and being eaten alive. And when you hear the boss music, you're like, why do I hear boss music right now? And you know this music. Yeah.
Sneaking up on you, the Jaws theme. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Now I want to like, Kyle. Did you do like? Did you have any like basic kind of music classes growing up? Because I definitely don't remember what the heck they taught us. But I think the first time I ever was exposed to the concept of a leitmotif, it would have been Peter and the Wolf. I think, or it's an entire story told through just musical instruments.
No, they made me play recorder, and I learned "My Heart Will Go On" from Titanic, and they were like, "Good, get him out of here." Like that.
I learned how to play that on guitar.
All right, he's done. He's set. You know, the STEM program worked. Send him on his way. Arts fulfilled. And I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh, that's such a shame. Yeah, this is before I even played an instrument, but I always enjoyed. We had a music club I quite enjoyed. I mean, yeah, we listened to Peter Wolf from the School, says Tanako in chat. Heck yeah, okay, so I'm not the only one. So Kyle, you were the child left behind that they were worried about in the 2000s.
And
okay,
New Mexico did me wrong growing up. I do also see on here a One Punch Man song. So now I'm starting to think to myself, like, do you identify like Final Fantasy music, even Undertale music as something you want to play? Is there any music that you just love in video games where you're like, oh no, I'm not going to play that though?
There are songs that I tried to do before and that I gave up because they were too technically difficult for me. And back then it was the Extreme, the final boss of FF8, and One Winged Angel. But then, with the knowledge and the experience I acquired over the years, I could do it recently, and I love the result. Um, in terms of the second trial of Dawn Trail, I will not spoil it because you're not here.
We have just done the first trial in Dawn Trail.
The music goes so fucking hard. I tried to play it and I could not go as hard as the original, and I was like, no, okay, I don't like my Randy song, so I will just skip this one and move on. And sorry for a lot of people want me to do this trial music, but I tried and then failed. So sorry.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I was curious too, like if you ever heard like, oh my God, I love Dark Souls music, but I'm not getting out a cathedral bell. I simply do not own one. There's nothing I can do to cover this.
Yeah, it's something. There is a musician that I like a lot. It's Richard DB. Amazing human being, by the way. I talked to him a few times, and he does a lot of video game and anime covers, and he does Elden Ring's covers, and it's outstanding because Elden Ring and Dark Souls music is not really easy to transcribe to metal and rock, and Richard nailed it, and I'm really impressed at the result. And I don't think I could do a nice cover of an Elden Ring or Dark Souls music. Although I love the soundtrack, but it's not. It's a matter of synergy. Like I said, I have a good feeling with FF14 music, but I don't have the same feel when it comes to Dark Souls music, for example. I love to listen to it, but I don't have the thing to play it myself.
That's fascinating. Huh. Yeah, I've never. I mean, a few times in my life, like we would do like punk covers of like pop songs and stuff. Some of the bands I was in, but it wasn't something I actively thought about or spent a lot of time thinking of. So that's an interesting thing to think about. Like when you're in the position that you're in and you do these rearrangements and these covers, kind of interpreted in a new style, like just yeah. Does it ever turn off, or every song you hear from now on when you're playing a game, is your brain going yes or no in terms of maybe one day I'll do a video about this?
No, I don't think about it at all unless the music really shocks me in a good way. I'm like, okay, I really need to cover this as ape. But most of the time, I don't think about it. I just enjoy the music. And later, when I'm looking about, okay, what will I cover this week? I just pick in what I enjoyed in the past or recently, and I do like this mainly.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad to hear, because sometimes you talk to folks, because of their profession, certain things kind of get ruined for them because of just their knowledge base. Kind of, they can see the seams. So I'm glad to hear you continue to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to get into a few more questions, and I could see some of these answers going along. So the other thing I had one more question about your medleys before we get into some questions that folks in our Discord sent in, which was just generally, I'm sure coordinating those medleys is a lot of work, but how do you coordinate it? Like, what steps do you have in place to help with the coordination of that many people sending you music?
First thing, I write the full arrangements. For the 10 years medley with 200 musicians, it was particular because 2 years ago I was invited by Square Enix in London for several events. The first ones were streams on the FF14 community, Square Enix community channel, and I did a live concert with them. And I was wandering in the streets of London during an afternoon, and I was lost in my thoughts, and I started to have a lot of ideas for the upcoming 10 years medley with 200 musicians. So I took my phone and was like, okay, I should start with the first three cities music. And in my head, the melodies started to play and naturally change themselves. So I wrote in my phone, okay, now I should play To the Edge. Okay, now it's time to start and work and stuff like that. And when I got home, I watched the arrangement pretty easily. Usually, when I write a cover or a medley like that, or even an original song, I pick my guitar. I do the full structure. Mainly, I start with a rhythm. Then I do the lead guitar. Then I do all the other instruments after that. But it's the only time where it was so easy because my Endworker medley was much harder to arrange, and I started from scratch without knowing where I wanted to go. Except for the endings, I only had the ending pictured in my head. But the first three quarters of the song, I had to figure it out. So yeah, I do everything on guitar, drums, bass. Then I write the orchestra. I orchestrate everything. Then I have a Google Doc with a lot of categories by like guitarist, bassist, drummers, strings player, brass players, etc., etc.
Oh.
And I, for each musician, I asked for a short recording so I can figure out their level. So I did put a color on the musician on my sheet, so I had an idea of their level. And on my big project, I was like, okay, so I will put in grid every beginner level things, in yellow every intermediate level things, and in red the advanced level things. So I assigned to every musician a part suited to their level like that.
I'm going to assume I was intermediate.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
And the thing is, it's a miracle that I was able to pull it off because I am not organized at all. Usually, I am a mess. You can see all the cables hanging out in my videos. So how the hell can I pull it off to synchronize musician?
What do you mean? I just because I can literally sweep my hand and get a mess of cables. Yeah, no, right there with your friend. Yeah. That's incredible. How do you? This is a question that just popped in my head because now we've been sitting here talking. I feel I have a pretty solid understanding of all of the different instruments that you do know how to play, and you know how to write for, you know how to arrange for. What do you do for the instruments that you don't know how to play, that you don't know how to arrange for? Because the breadth of instruments that are in your medley videos, if no one has ever watched it, it is grand. I mean, we are not just talking rock, like traditional rock instruments at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we have woodwinds, brass, percussion, anything you can think of. It is probably it appears in one of your medleys.
Over the last few years, as I started to learn how to write orchestra music, the more I practiced it in my covers, the more I was familiar with this instrument. So it was not that hard to assign the part to a musician for that and write parts for that. And for example, when I did my One Wind Angel medley, the orchestration I did is very similar to the original one. So I had to reverse engineer it. And I learned a lot doing so to understand how these instruments that I was not familiar with actually function. And for other instruments like the harp and the koto in my medleys by Nicole Chang and Sachi Koto, these musicians are also very great arrangers. So I gave them a free part, and they had the freedom to add anything they wanted to, because I did this for a few pianists too, who I knew were great arrangers because they have done covers in the past, or they are composers, and they were able to add something on their own while understanding the medley and not adding too much thing that could be too much over the top. You see.
Oh, fascinating. That's man. So being able to orchestrate or write for orchestras, is that something that you've been working on for a long time, or is it only come about in the last few years when you've been doing this full time?
Last few years, I wanted to do it for a while, but I didn't have the time back then. And when I started to do it full time, because when I started full time, I had the goal to become a video game composer on top of my covers. So I learned orchestration thanks to Alex Mukela tutorial YouTube channel, and he gave me a lot of advice when we talked about it a lot as well. He's been very helpful. So yeah, I started to do it with the medleys and with some covers. It's pretty rare when I do it in covers because it's very time consuming, but when a rock or metal cover of mine sounds empty, usually I add a bit of strings, a bit of brass, of piano, and subtle things to enhance it.
Mm.
And
more, I'm always looking for more from the drums whenever I tune into a metal interpretation of something, and it's something I find. I ended up there more from just enjoying like cover, like different genre covers of popular songs. So that's what I'm always looking for. I want like double bass. I want blast beats. I'm always surprised how much I don't see that when I go and pull up metal interpretations of some music. So that's what I'm always looking for. That's cool.
Yeah, the thing is, I do metal cover, but I listen a lot of metal, but I don't consider myself as a metal musician, more like a alternative rock musician maybe, because as we said, I never play blast beats in my covers. I rarely use double kick and stuff like that because I don't know, it's just not how I write music, simply.
It makes sense. It's a very specific, and it's quite contemporary, and it's a very specific style. So I want to pull in some of the questions that came in from Discord. We got way too many, so I'm just gonna grab a couple here that
okay.
I think are gonna touch on things we haven't talked about so far, or potentially just hopefully flatter you with additional compliments. Like this one from Pimpy Shortstocking that wants to know, how the heck does he put music out so fast?
I'm a wizard. No, I've been doing this for YouTube for 10 years and music in general for 18 years now. And I started to record music and do original music before I started on YouTube. So I have a lot of experience, and I forged my ear. The ear is a muscle, and the more you train it, the easier it is to understand what happens in music. So this is how when they announce FF14 expansion, I am able to pull off a cover in like 8 to 10 hours. When the song, when the song is easy, like Endwalker is technically not a difficult song on guitar. The chords and the melodies did not require me a lot of practice, so I could learn it in a short matter of time. And as for the mix, because I've been doing this for a while, mixing now is mostly a matter of adjusting volume, because over the years I have my own templates and my own presets. So mixing is pretty quick now, unless there are vocals involved. Mixing vocals is always a pain.
Yeah, sending you like my little portion of your last medley was the first time I ever had to lay down like a clean track, and I do not want to admit how many takes that took. Like, it's just like this is very straightforward. I should be able to do this. And every time I would play it back, I'm like, there's like one spot where I don't quite nick the string the right way, and I'm like, dang it. I'm so used to playing with distortion on, and it covers all that up.
When I started to record music for the first times, it was the same for me. I was like, what? I suck at bass, actually, because when you're not used to record yourself, you don't have the conscience of your mistakes. Mm-hmm. And when you record yourself, you become more at ease with it. But even today, I do a lot of takes. When I shoot my videos, it's always playback, because I record the song, I do the arrangement, I do the mix, and after that, when the song is completed, I shoot the video on playback. And when I record the audio, most of the times I do it part by part, so it is really precise and pitch perfect, and I cannot do it in one go.
Wow. It's like anything else, I guess. You do it enough times, it just becomes nature. Well, Jasoini hit us up on our Discord and wants to know what your dream collaboration is. Like, no limits. You could collaborate with anyone, regardless of fame, ability.
Ooh. This one is hard. One of my dreams was to play with the Primals, and I achieved it last year. But it's not a collab, because it's a concert. It was the best time of my life, by the way. But in terms of collab, no limits. I'd say Yoko Shimomura, maybe. Okay. She's my favorite composer, along with Soken.
All right. I'm gonna just keep adding on to the you should stream suggestions, because like every game you've talked about being hyped about and wanting to play and being a fan of.
He's got to get through them, though. He's got to get
you would have quite the audience.
Streaming slows it down, man. He's got to get through the games to get the music, to get the videos. Like,
not everyone needs to go as slow as we go,
there's
Kyle.
A pipeline you got to work within.
And then Kumuru in our Discord asks, of all the covers that you have done, does one stand out as the hardest or the most difficult? And then they're also curious why. So I would imagine there might be different reasons. Like, maybe it's difficult because of a technical reason. Maybe it's difficult because it took you a while to.
The obvious answer is the medley, but I will not count it because it's way too obvious. The most difficult songs I had to do were the Extreme from FFXIV and my cover of Innocence with Alex Mukala. Because when you see at the beginning of the video, I do the piano part on tapping on my A string guitar, and I had to practice 40 days, but like 20 minutes a day. So when I have to learn something, I do a little every day. So over the long run, it's very powerful. So yeah, for Innocence, I practiced the tapping part for 40 days, and I was able to finally record it and shoot it for the cover. And 2 days after, I was again unable to do it again because it's way too hard and it requires a lot of practice.
That's incredible. Huh.
But yeah, when you do it 20 minutes a day, it's pretty easy. It's not a slug. It's very powerful.
Oh, that's true. And now that this is what you do, like you're pretty steeped in it. Okay, now so we talked about things like Elden Ring and how you don't think you'll be covering that type of music anytime soon. Light Chaos in our Discord wanted to know what other game series music you are looking at to cover. Like, you don't have to announce anything here if you don't want to, but by all means, if you'd like to, go right ahead.
What video game music I will cover soon? Probably Metaphor with Fantasio, because the composer of Shin Megami Tensei and Persona always with excellent music. So I'm really looking forward to music for this game, and I'm pretty sure I will cover several tracks for it when it releases.
Nice.
What is that Monster Hunter thing? Monster Hunter.
It's wild.
Monster Hunter music is not easy to cover as well. Because it's really orchestral music, but it's not how to say it. The structure is really out of the place. It's not perfectly shaped. It's really tricky to cover, to organize, and yeah, very fun to do it though.
And then Compsci Jedi wants to know if you could get Soken to collaborate with you on anything. Do you have a dream project?
A dream project. Very hard. Obviously, I would love to write a music for FF14 for the game directly, but the other way around, maybe it would be fun if I invite Soken to do a cover or even an original song on my channel. It would be absolutely amazing as well.
Okay, let's get a little more. It's a dream, so let's get particular here. Would you want like a housing theme that taunted people while they tried to get a house, or would you want a boss, or what kind of thing would you want in the game?
I'm good at writing battle music, so a boss theme would be perfect. Yeah.
Excellent.
Or maybe a dungeon music as well. Lately, I've been starting to learn synthwave because the game I'm working on is a strategy game, and I'm doing the full soundtrack in synthwave and in dark synth as well, a bit like Mass Effect music and Carpenter Brute. But
I love Carpenter Brute.
But at my own thing. So I've recently learned how to write synth bass like Carpenter Brute, and I'm having a blast to do. And in a few months, the game will release, so I will be able to share the music with everyone at this time, and I can't wait.
Please do. Strategy synthwave. Hell yeah. Let's go. Love it.
That is awesome. Yeah. God, it feels like it was just yesterday, but I think it was closer to like 6 years ago. Someone turned me on to Carpenter Brute for the first time. And that just sent me. I was lamenting that I'm still just listening to a lot of punk and I haven't found anything new in a while. And a friend was just like, "Oh, I love punk, but you should probably check out Carpenter Brute." And I pulled it up, and yeah, big shout out to them. Well, rad. Well, all right. I'm seeing a lot of these other questions kind of get into stuff that we've already gotten into. So I think we've more or less covered. I have a personal, selfish question before we go because of how we connected earlier. Who's your favorite punk band?
Mm,
And let's not get into a debate about what is punk and what is not punk.
No. It's not because I had a. It was, I mean, it still is Rise Against and Anti-Flag. No, not Anti-Flag. It's Rise Against and let's say Anti-Flag. Yeah.
Oh, Anti-Flag was my first concert.
Oh, amazing!
It was my very first concert I ever went to. It was Anti-Flag with Good Riddance and Strike Anywhere.
Oh,
and
sick!
Oh God, that was nuts. I've seen Rise Against a couple times on back when Warped Tour was still a thing.
Oh, it was amazing.
I've never been to a Rise Against show just by itself though. Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah. Okay.
I never could see them live because I live in the south of France, so not in Paris at all. So I don't have rock or punk or metal concerts of famous bands in my area. I have to travel to Paris every time I want to see a concert I want to see. So unfortunately, I never could see them perform live.
Yeah, I know exactly where my shirt is. I bought a tour t-shirt from that show and it's still over in my, I can't fit into it anymore. I used to wear like the tightest, smallest shirt I could buy. That ain't happening anymore, but yeah, I still have it. That's right. Now I just want to, I'll have you back and we'll just talk punk. That's all we'll do. That'll be the sequel podcast. We'll just
okay.
That's right. I was not expecting Anti-Flag to. No one ever brings them up. I haven't heard anyone talk about it.
As a bass player, I learned a lot with Anti-Flag when I started playing music. It was a big influence on me.
One of the first bands I was in, they did the idiot high school kids with very limited view, like very ill-informed political views, but we were doing the best we could writing political music in high school, and we did a lot of Anti-Flag covers at the time.
Oh, sick!
So yeah, no, I really feel that. And then before we go, got to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Of all of the Final Fantasy XIV music, you have to claim a favorite. What is your favorite single track from Final Fantasy XIV?
It's the Soken boss theme. I forgot I think it's Under the Moon. Oh, Wayward Daughter. I always say Under the Moonlight, but it was the patch name. So yeah, Wayward Daughter.
Nice.
You just won some points with Kyle.
It's why I gave the spotlight to that part in my 10 years medley. It was the longest section of the song because of that.
Nice. That track's amazing.
What about you guys? Which one is your favorite?
Amatsu Kaze, the Byakuya theme.
Sick. Yeah.
Is that very just the slightly distorted bass. Like it just makes me so happy in the beginning.
Yeah.
Just I've been trying to learn it, and my finger plucking ability is just not quite there. But I'd go with Amatsu Kaze.
Heroes, the Thordan song.
Oh
yeah. I saw you did that when I watched that earlier.
It's my favorite boss fights from all the game because it's a show for the eyes. It's amazing, and the music, Heroes, is godly, absolutely godly.
That was our second extreme, Kyle. The second extreme we did?
Was it? Maybe.
Thordan?
Maybe.
We did Shinryu.
Oh, yeah. We were doing like end bosses. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
We did Shinryu first, and then we went into Thordan. Thordan, like, broke my brain. Realizing I had to worry about the eyeball at the edge of the arena as a mechanic. I was just like, oh my, what? God, that felt...
sick.
I can't even think of the Thordan music right now because I was just so terrified, and that took us like 4 hours to figure that fight out.
Yeah. Didn't get sick of it though. That was the real test of it. Is that many hours in there? Still didn't hate hearing that chorus. What would the people being Creed?
Choir.
Yeah. What's the technical name?
Choir. It's a cheat code in music. You put a choir and it starts banger immediately.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, you got it. How'd they get there? I don't know. They're in space. Let them sing.
That's it.
Yeah. Flip side, I remember being sad that we got Byakuya Extreme done so fast because I'm like, no, I'm not done listening to the music.
Oh yeah.
No, well, wonderful. Well, if folks for some reason don't know where they can find you, anything you'd like to promote, you're at youtube.com/husky by the geek, but anywhere else you'd like to
You can find me on YouTube, on Spotify as well, on Twitter, not X, it doesn't exist, Twitter. And you can reach out to me on Discord if you want. My link is in the description of my videos as well. You have every info you need in the description of my video.
Nice. Well, go check it out. We're big fans here at Grinding Gear. So happy we were able to
thank you so much.
Find a time that got together. Earlier when you said that you've been composing for actual games, I'm like, oh, I remember, because I first talked to you, I think right before the 300 medley dropped. I'm like, oh, it'd be fun to have you on around this, and you're like, it would be, but I'm very busy.
I am still very busy, but I have to to keep doing stuff anyway. So yeah.
Thanks for making the time.
Really, we really.
It was a pleasure. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, this was great. Well, thanks again for coming on, and that'll bring us to the end of the official recording. And of course, obviously, if you're watching live, we want to thank you if you're supporting us over on our Patreon. There's our most recent patrons. You can go to supportourbromance.com, and a huge thanks to our legendary level backers as well for supporting what Kyle and I do. So, and of course, check out doghouse.systems.com. Those are our gaming PCs. There you go. And then usually, Husky, I'm just a warning for you. We usually stick around for a few minutes. This is when I let our guests know you can bounce whenever you need to go. But the official recording of the podcast is in the bag, which I'm going to back up right now.
Yeah. No, thanks for joining us. It was cool hearing your story.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I really enjoyed it a lot. Really, it's been 2 hours and it felt like 10 minutes. It was crazy.
Awesome. That's the goal. It's the goal around here. Guests and viewers. And us. Me too. For me too. Not that I don't have time passage fast.
And by the way, what games are you going to play in the next few days? I know you're still progressing on Dawnfell, but aside from that.
Tuesday, Thursday are always our Final Fantasy 14 days, unless something really, really wild's going on. So we're doing more MSQ tomorrow, and then we're pretty sure we want to take a break from MSQ because we want to make a video about what we've played so far, and we don't like to inform our opinions further when we're making a video. So then Thursday we're gonna cap off some Stormblood extremes that we haven't completed, and then Wednesday we're gonna try Guild Wars 2. Because there's a lot of people in our Discord who play it, and Kyle and I don't really understand what kind of MMO it is.
And it has an expansion this week. Like, it's absolutely insane that 4, if you count Elder Scrolls Online, 4 expansions across the 4 MMOs.
Yeah, it's a big 4. It's part of it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of MMO players praise Guild Wars 2 because it's a very good game. I tried it. It's not my cup of tea. I much preferred the first Guild Wars game, but I admit the second one is a really, really good MMO.
Nice, yeah.
Especially for the exploration side.
And that's like
it's a king of exploration,
and you can't like fathom it. Like everyone says that, but you don't. I don't know what that means, and I don't think I'll know what that means until we get in there and try it out.
Yeah, because I played a decent amount of launch Guild Wars 1. It was my first MMO. I didn't play any of the expansions because by that point I was in the World of Warcraft and that kind of took over my life. But I love the first Guild Wars, and that's on my one-day project. Like I want to actually do everything in Guild Wars 1 because I still look back on that game very fondly. So I want to see it through to completion.
And with heroes and companions, you can do everything solo now, I think.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they added heroes from Nightfall, I guess, in every content, so you can do everything.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah. And then in the background, we've been dusting off WoW Retail because we haven't touched it in a really long time. But we're
same. I haven't played since the beginning of Dragonflight.
Same.
I am about to resub for the expansion just out of curiosity because I love classic WoW and retail. I get easily burned out of retail since BFA. I love Legion, but since BFA, I play like 1 month and I don't touch it for 2 years, and the cycle repeats itself every time. I'm a massive classic WoW fan, especially for PvP and open world stuff.
Yeah, same. It is a realization I think that I had last year. I fell off with retail during Shadowlands, like so many players, but you know, I still had and I still have a lot of love for World of Warcraft. But last year we played a little bit of hardcore and we played a little bit of Season of Discovery, and I had a really good time with both.
I played the first phase of Discovery. It was amazing.
Yeah, and I had played a little classic before that, but something about hardcore and Season of Discovery really made me realize that I think I just preferred the more old school way to play. That said, over the weekend, I played like 5 hours of Pandaria Remix, and I was like, this is fun. I'm into this.
I missed the boat, unfortunately. I don't know what it's about. I've seen everyone talking about it, but I could not play it.
It's like playing WoW like Diablo. Like, you just get broken eventually. You just so overpowered that you trivialize the content, and it's kind of cool. I'm into it.
Okay. Seems nice.
And that I'm just like, I need to let Garrett know that whatever he wants to squeeze in, it has to happen before October 21st, because that's when Factorio Space Age comes out.
Oh.
And Factorio Flow Simulator, that's my jam. I'm gonna lose my mind. That's gonna be so good. I hope it's still gonna be so good.
Yeah, I've seen some playthrough of this kind of game, and it's satisfactory actually to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what's on the horizon. Well, we still haven't figured out. We both really want to get through at least the narrative of War Within, just because they are advertising the story so much.
Yeah, and Chris Metzen is back, so the story might become good again. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't been bought in on the narrative since Legion. That was kind of the last time I really liked the narrative of
same. I love Legion because of Sargeras and Burning Crusade and stuff.
Yeah.
And BFA was a slog for me. And Shadowlands, I only played the very last few weeks of Shadowlands because I skipped the expansion and just wanted to discover a bit before Dragonflight.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the beginning of Dragonflight, but it's just the gameplay of retail that burns me out quickly.
Yeah, same. I got in and I maxed, and I was like, oh, the flying's cool. This is fun. But the story didn't do much for me, and I thought the zones were kind of homogenous. Everything was kind of just like open wildlands. I wanted like more cities and that kind of stuff. So it's just, we're at a point now where we enjoyed the narrative of Final Fantasy XIV so much, and there's such, whether we agree with it or not, there's so much versus between the two games that I know I'm now just I'm looking at it academically almost. Like I just want the experience. I want my own opinion about whatever they're doing with New World of Warcraft. I don't want a secondhand opinion from my friends who are playing. So yeah, if not, that's my goal, is to just get through the narrative of War Within, and then if I keep playing it, cool. If not, I'm not making any big declarations, but I do want to see the story for myself.
Same. Playing with some friends and my brother who plays WoW all the time as well. So.
Oh, cool.
And anyway, I keep coming back to FF14 at every patch to discover the MSQ, the new raids, the new boss, the new music. And every time I come back to FF14, I'm a casual on FF14. I don't enjoy the Savage content because the gameplay is not responsive enough for me to appreciate it. But I love all other aspects of the game, and that's why I keep coming back. And I enjoy doing my roulettes and leveling my arts and doing dungeons and
what do you mean there?
Bard and Dark Knight.
Bard.
Yes.
Not because of the music, just because I love bows in general. And in MMOs and RPGs, I took archers all the time. I love this.
Then you're not gonna stop me from correlating Dark Knight and Bard into punk rock. That's just gonna happen. I'll let you have the not because the music I like Bose, but the other part of it, I'm running with that. It's too late.
All right. I'm gonna have to go to the next European Fan Fest so that we can hang out because we're just gonna be best friends. I'm gonna you like punk, you like Ocarina of Time, and you main Dark Knight.
Defining factors.
That is my shit. I love Dark Knight so much. Yeah, we just I don't know if you've seen Step Brothers, but someone insert the we best friends meme.
Maybe with the same person for a different chart, like in FF14. I mean, it's something I often say. Alex Mukola and I often say because Alex and I have so many similarities when it comes to things we appreciate and how we see music, and often we say, yeah, we're just the same wire of light from a different chart. So maybe you are too.
That's what's great about it. It's so easy to get burnt out in content creation and just being on the internet that it's something I've really enjoyed about it, especially the last few years, because while a lot of hoopla is being made right now about divisiveness within Final Fantasy XIV. Even now, but like because it's a newer experience for me over the last like 3 years, it is some of the most it's the most camaraderie I have seen in a gaming community in a very long time. For me, the most I've seen since World of Warcraft was a new game. There was that period of time from vanilla up through, I'd say, about Wrath of the Lich King, where
it's a golden age.
You would just bump into people randomly out at a store shopping, and you could tell they played WoW, and then you would talk WoW for 5 minutes, and that's how pervasive it was. And you just made new friends through that community, and I haven't had anything like that since until Final Fantasy XIV. Same goes for content creation. It's just really it's really reinvigorating to find kindred spirits.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Where I live in France, people don't play a lot of video games, mainly compared to America and Japan. So in my area, at least, I don't know many people who play FF14. I mean, most of my French friends who play the game live in Paris. So when I travel to Paris, I hang out with them. I have a great time. But in my city, it's dead.
Yeah, there's not many gaming events going on here.
Yeah.
Back when I was really into Hearthstone, the 2 hours away, there would be Hearthstone events. So every once in a while, I'd go to that.
Oh, yeah, nice.
That was about it. And then a little bit during the heyday of StarCraft 2, I would go to esport events at bars where they would put on pro games.
Sick.
But there hasn't been anything like that in a long time. So
yeah, unfortunately, StarCraft 2 has not been updated, and the scene has been slowly dying, unfortunately. I mean, it's a shame for the RTS scene. We didn't have...
There's life. It seems to be new life. There's 2 new high-profile RTSs coming out by the end of the year, I think. Some of them, I think, are going to be in beta, not necessarily full release.
Yeah, but over the last few years, outside of new Age of Empires, and I think one of these was a remake, I didn't heard many things about RTS in general.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for a lot of RTS fans, it was Blizzard or bust, and Blizzard's stopped making and supporting RTSs. I mean, they'd still patch and make sure StarCraft works, but it's not like it used to be. They don't have regular balance patches the way they used to. So, yeah, it's odd. And that's certainly where we came from. You know, I was a big Blizzard RTS fan. So, yeah, I don't know. I also like, again, talking about not having a lot of time to dedicate. Like, I don't think I ever want to try and be decent at an RTS again. It just takes too much time. It takes too much time to be mediocre at an RTS.
I suck at FPS and RTS. I'm only good at action games and RPGs.
Yeah.
But you give me a FPS or a strategy game, I'm just very bad.
Yeah, but I love playing them. Like,
yeah.
I really enjoy them, but I'm terrible.
Luckily, I can complete the campaigns in normal mode and maybe hard if I can pull it off, but can go higher. Playing in online these games, I'm not a competitive person at all. What I love the most about PvP in MMOs is when it's in the open world. It's what I like the most in classic WoW, because you wander in the open world and you just smash the players from the opposite faction. I don't like battlegrounds. I don't like arenas. I just like the sense of danger in the open world.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed that when I've had friends to roll with. I could never level solo on a PvP server. It was just too stress inducing.
Yeah, but I like this kind of stress.
Man, it's the atmosphere. Yeah. It's part of the feel of the room.
Oh, that's great. Well, thanks again. I really appreciate you making time. This was a really fun chat.
I too, yeah. Thanks so much.
All rad. Well, I'm sure we'll see you again at some point. We'll have you back on.
Indeed. Chat, stick around for a hot moment. We're going to be changing rooms here so we can thank y'all who subbed during this and whatnot. And also, hey, we're live on Twitch today, so we'll address that too. So stick around for a hot moment while we press some buttons.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Husky.
Thanks for hanging out.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.
All right, here comes the explosion, everyone. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going anywhere. But you're going somewhere. You're going right here. And we're just going to see. We're going to see how this feels. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Do you like that? What do you think of that? That's acceptable. That wasn't too bad, everybody. We made it. Now let's get Garrett over a little bit so he's not cut in half like a box art. Where are you? There we go. There he is. Okay. Yeah, no, that was...
I can't see your feed, so I don't know if it's working.
Allow me. There you go. There you are. Feel a little zoomed in.
Lord Abyss claimed the first message of the multi-stream.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. We'll have to see how we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so today we were live on my old Twitch account, which has not been live since I did the AOS Clubhouse, which was a Pokemon Unite show that I had running while we started the Grinding Gear project.
What a time in the linear march of time.
Yes, it is a time in the linear march of time. It was a fun show to do. Pokemon Unite, interesting game, oddly financed, the free-to-play MMO thing. It did its thing. Crazy battle pass time. But playable game. That's why I got my Switch, and now I have a Switch, so I like that. But yeah, no, it's cool seeing some old names over there. Lodvar, good to see you over on the channel. I see Luke. Luke was getting in there. Traffy Jenkins, good to see you, dude. Hope you're all doing well. So, of course, this pinged some ancient 2012 names from the Heroes of the Storm days. So thanks for joining us for today's show on the Twitch end of things.
Yeah, I saw some gifted memberships going out. I don't know how the purple site works anymore.
Yeah, well, the purple site too, a lot of this is tied to Amazon and all that sort of thing. So none of the, people were sitting here being like, what does Clear Kyle's collection mean if I spend my rootin' tootins? And well, there's a legacy. And Yep. They used to be called root. There's a whole Twitch points thing. They were called Rootin' Tootins. There was a whole Rainer theme going on over here. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't think about it too much.
We'll clean it up eventually. Behind the scenes, we were going to swap over to the old A-Move channel, but then we remembered it wasn't partnered. So
yeah.
Screw that.
And someone owns Grinding Gear, not Grinding Gear Games. That's a whole studio, but Grinding Gear on Twitch. So we need to come up with GG Boys or something like that.
A very inactive channel has /Grinding Gear. Yeah.
Here, let me put it this way: if you spent on the old Twitch days, if you spent 10,000 Rootin' Tootins, you could make me clean my inventory. That's basically what that was, but for Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah, we could do GGTV. We'll probably do GG Boys, and then when Garrett and Kyle freeze up from the channel we ended up not using, we'll swap over to that.
Yeah, because we renamed the thing Garrett and Kyle, but now that's taken for 6 months. So
6 months.
yeah. It's there's the things going. We also were live on Twitter today. It says 920 people live on Twitter.
What?
That chat is turned off, by the way. So mods, none of this is for more work for mods, by the way.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Not.
We turned Twitter chat off.
Do not think about it. Don't worry about it.
And if anyone's looking at my blue check and judging me, this is
no one has done that. That's a paranoia. You exist. Everyone knows that this is a business decision. Everyone's so mad at Mr. Happy and Marco. They're
you
furious.
do not understand how often I make random unhinged Final Fantasy 14 players angry, and they're gonna see my blue check and make assumptions.
That's that part of their narrative, man. That's part of their narrative. Just like the person that was in there being like, Guild Wars Wednesday, huh? Hating Dawn Trail that much. That's part of your narrative. That's not part of mine. I'm taking a break to make a video is what I'm doing. We're doing
this is how we're gonna out all of the new Grinding Gear watchers. Is they're gonna be like, why aren't you still MSQing? We're gonna be like, because this is what we've always done.
We always take breaks when
this is how we do it.
When the MS curator says make a video, this is a good point. We do it. We do it now.
Well, he hasn't, that's not the way. I will say that's changed because John admittedly is unsure at this point.
Yes, no, yeah. But he did say this would be a good point to pause and make a video.
I'm sad to see us quit Final Fantasy 14.
I know, it's just our huge diatribes on the way.
Yeah, Dawn Trail is such a delightful expansion that I'm really vibing with that I just can't take it anymore. I'm just gonna have to end. Yeah.
But no, actually, like I'll just straight up tell y'all, like there's no transfer coming to Twitch or anything like that. Honestly, this was a suggestion we got from multiple sources, and multi-streaming's a thing. And regardless of numbers that exist over on Twitter or Twitch, we love it here on YouTube. But this is an important thing to be doing, to be live on multiple sites, since you can do it. So we're gonna do it. And we have the technology.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Obviously, YouTube is what we consider our main place to catch us. But give it a shot, see how it goes.
Yeah, you don't expect me to like make lots of images and fancy shit on Twitch. That's not going to happen. There's going to be a VOD with the picture of whatever it generates on there, and it's going to have the title of this stream.
Exactly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dylan Johnson, thanks for the 23 months. Speaking of YouTube, hope you enjoyed this one that you were excited for. Our Wojo supered. Yes, we get it. You have the proverbial god of Final Fantasy 14 music who is not Soken on the show. So damn excited for this one. Yes.
that went places. I went on a journey with that one.
Tam Lynn, thanks for 21 months, said, woo, GG Boys finally made it. A video with the Husky by the Geek. Oh man, I have more space here, more medleys. Okay, I have a feeling that'll happen.
I swear this cat knows exactly when the show ends because he always shows up as soon as the guest leaves. My tone of voice changes.
It's probably a yes. Yeah, I can say that you are always. I can tell the second you're not in recording mode.
Yeah, anymore. Well, it's also I got to give space for the guests.
Kyle loses a decibel.
Be on jump. Well, that gets mixed out in the end. But yeah, in person. So yeah, in person, I guess Karth would be in person. He could hear me. Drop down into my ASMRs and all that.
Mega Magic wants to know when I'm going to do a Sonic 3 stream after I beat Sonic 2 for the first time ever, because I've never beaten Sonic 2.
You've beaten a Sonic?
I don't think I've ever beaten a Sonic.
Dreamcast is the only one I've ever beaten.
I think I beat Sonic Spinball back in the day.
They're hard. You're supposed to platform with his slippery shoes. I hate him.
We just found out that Kyle does not play Luigi.
Wait, Mario has turnaround time. Actually, wait, Luigi. What are you talking about? What game are you talking about?
Doesn't Luigi slide more if you play Luigi in the original Mario Brothers?
Yeah, the old one where he did like the kick jump thing. I don't know. I didn't play that one a lot.
I thought he slid more in the original.
I think they're all exactly the same in Mario Wonder. And I picked Luigi in Mario Wonder, but I can't help you there.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, Mario 2, he was slippery. Oh, no, I didn't play Luigi back then.
Yeah.
My love for Luigi was Mario Kart.
Oh shit! Newfound Glory's doing a part of your world cover for a new Disney album. Oh hell yeah! I'm checking my ats in the Grinding Gear Discord.
Huh?
There's a Disney cover album coming out, and it looks like Newfound Glory gets the opening track.
Okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah! They just played Friday night in Orlando, and that's Katie's favorite band. So we would have gone, but they're doing an album show, and they're doing the exact same album when we go to When We Were Young in Vegas. So we're like, okay, we can set this one out. We're gonna see them play this album in a couple months.
Oh, I love Kiss Me. Beneath the moonlight.
Oh yeah,
lightly
NFG has a
beneath
bunch
the green
of,
green grass. Yeah. That
swing. Yeah, you should listen to their cover of it because it slaps.
Oh, really? It's a cover?
Yeah. No, Newfound Glory.
I thought I was being an asshole.
The way I understand it, Newfound Glory got traction off of the Napster days because they had a cover album called From the Screen to Your Stereo. And a bunch of their covers went viral on Napster because it was like punk cover of insert song here. And the big one for me, how I discovered them, was they did a cover of My Heart Will Go on the first From Your Screen to Your Stereo. And it was more than a decade ago now. They did a sequel, From the Screen to Your Stereo 2, and Kiss Me is on that. So it's a bunch of movie soundtrack songs.
Interesting.
That they did covers of. You would probably dig that. There's some really good covers on the second one. The first one, I would maybe caution. They were still on an indie label, and the mix is pretty rough on the first From the Screen to Your Stereo. But the second one is professionally produced. They have I like their version of that Goo Goo Dolls song more than the original. They do the one from what's the Nicolas Cage movie where he's an angel? It's very sad.
Oh. Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah,
yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
But what is that song called? Iris. They do a cover of Iris that I like more than the original of Iris, and I do quite like the original of Iris, but
okay,
I like their cover even more. So I would highly recommend that. Yeah, no, Newfound Glory slaps, man. They're a good band. Speaking of good covers, what else is on there? I like that album. Let's see, From the Screen. That's I want the sequel. Oh god, they did a third one? Holy shit. What? I didn't know they came out with a third one. I know what I'm listening to today. Yeah, I was thinking of part 2, which came out in 2007. Jesus Christ, that was longer ago than I thought. They did Kiss Me. They did It Ain't Me, Babe. King of Wishful Thinking as an 80s kid. That's probably one for you, Kyle.
Oh, okay. I know that one. That one's good song.
I don't think you can claim 80s kid if you were born in the late 80s, but you get the, you know,
well,
what I mean. You like
87.
80s music.
Yeah, we had lag into.
Yeah. Stay. Yeah. You should go. You should go give this a listen, sir. I'm gonna send you a link. Share. Copy album link. Go into Kyle on Discord. Oh God, don't play that. We're gonna get demonetized.
Came through pretty tinny. I think you're okay.
Oh, thank God.
I think your Panic covered it up. You're good. You're good. Hopefully.
I don't know any Panic at the Disco covers. I can't help you with that.
Oh, Cardonesi. It's sitting on the mixer. He must be removed. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, they covered Let It Go on the third one of these. Holy shit. Okay. Oh, they did Power of Love. Okay, all right. Sorry.
Wow, you're on a journey.
Bad stream now. Yeah, I'm on a journey.
Okay.
Well, that's how I found the band, and I much prefer their originals, but you know, I've got a soft spot for them doing covers.
Yeah, don't you guys worry. He's macking out on the mic right now. He's doing just fine.
Just making out with it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the senior supreme. He has opinions when he gets moved, but he's doing just fine. Got a clean bill of health and everything. They said his teeth were good. Everything.
Oh, we took the girls in for a checkup. First thing Friday morning. I was very tired after being up late doing the MSQ the night before, and they both got a clean bill of health.
Nice.
Zelda's starting to show a little bit of signs of arthritis, sadly, but our vet said he does not recommend surgery to correct that because it can accelerate the arthritis.
I need to get this cat half a pound is the only thing they said. A little thin, a little bony.
Yeah. Oh, you need to put on a pound.
Yeah. Like actually,
okay.
Yeah. Free fed cat needs to put on half a pound. It's a rarity.
Wow. Yeah, no, we're the other opposite way with Zelda and Wicket. They need to both lose weight. They both have lost weight because we were told the last time they had a checkup to lose some weight, and they're both down They were both almost 16 pounds, and now they're both in the 14 and change. So they've almost lost 2 pounds each. But that said, they could still stand to lose a pound or two. They are very big for Chihuahuas, and it's not entirely weight. They are just bone structure wise almost twice the size of the breed standard of a Chihuahua. So they're just big. They're just big Chihuahuas. But yeah, they're still lighter than our cat. So yeah.
I see we also got to play monk there. How the time flies. Two years of play monk. Actually, I don't know if it had started with the first message, but let's just assume for the continuity of it, for the canonical re-release.
One day it will happen. When we finally run out of MSQ to do, we'll start turning our eyes to monk.
I don't think it's man. I really want one. I do really want one.
The M in MSQ stands for monk.
Mm-hmm.
I do, yeah. No, monk is really high for me. It's not relegated to my not really all that interested where like Bard lives for me. I am quite interested in monk, especially after some of these fights. It's like, oh, I want to be hand to hand. This would be rad.
I'm delaying for a hot moment while I get all the images to tease you all with this week's fine content.
Oh, well, look at you. Aren't you fancy?
Give you a little tour. Well, yeah, we make these things. We might as well use them multiple times. So tomorrow, Feet of Ice continues. Heading towards that stopping point the MS Curator recommended. Also said today that the suggestions for when we stop are going to get a lot stronger from here on out.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's because things are happening.
Yeah,
finally.
we're leaving the nebulous part of the game and entering the I have opinions part of the game. So John will be letting us know when that is. Mm-hmm. Wednesday, we're going to be making some characters. Neither of us have opened the game, though I have installed it. We're going to see.
I don't know how Guild Wars works. I think I technically own it. I know I played at launch.
It's free to play now, but you might need to buy one of the expansions in order to get that like Dark Knight looking job class profession thing. So,
but there's a Dark Knight looking
I think
job?
It's called like Revenant or something like that. They're kind of necromancery and
I was just
going
to be a necromancer.
Oh, well then I think you're good to go.
Oh, okay.
I think you're good to go.
Hold on, if there's a big sword class.
But I think anyone, like I was being told about a Mesmer, an actor with a giant sword, so I think you can wield whatever you want.
Mesmer, I'm fairly certain was part of the launch classes.
I know, I'm just saying that like Mesmer with a big sword is a build, so that can't, like, I'm not sure how, that's why we're doing it. We're going to do it publicly. I don't
really understand Guild Wars 2.
Exactly.
This is not a declaration that we're going to become Guild Wars 2 streamers, but, we like what we see.
It's having an expansion. It's part of the conversation. Let's at least get a baseline. And then Thursday, since we're going to be pausing for making that MSQ video, we're going to hit up a little Extreme Stormblood, knocking 2 off the list.
It has been leveled up if you saw the earlier announcement.
Yeah, it was just this guy. It was just going to be this guy, but we were informed.
We were informed that we'll probably murder Susano so hard that he gets permanently deleted from the game.
Yeah.
So we should probably add my favorite encounter in the history of Final Fantasy XIV.
It worked out. You saw the image. It worked out. See, you're looking at that one. I'm looking at this one. It's fine.
Did you see my reply to you in our announcements channel?
Something about snakes and you're pointing at them?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Because you hate them? Because you're a known snake hater?
No, what are you talking about? This is going to be my face turn. I'm going to be known snake lover.
It all goes down Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. So you get it. Oh, and then I don't know, probably some WoW stuff in the following week.
I can announce that. Yeah, Monday we're going to be joined by OK Mage. So we're going to be doing a little Final Fantasy WoW crossover. So
I forgot you locked that in.
Yeah,
I thought that was still in the planning phase.
OK Mage will be here on the podcast Monday, giving us the lowdown on what's been going on with World of Warcraft and getting into the initial pre-release. I don't think we're going to be doing anything pre-release as of right now with World of Warcraft, but we'll probably be playing next Wednesday as that's kind of our free day at the moment.
Yeah. So we're if you're interested in joining us and you care what server you're on, we're Alliance side on Lightbringer because we're going to do something in War with him. We still figured out. Probably, if nothing else, Wednesdays, but I would also like to get through it kind of quick. So
yeah, certainly you go at what pace you want, man. Like that is, do not let my dad's schedule interrupt, you completing that thing. But I'm also of the space of like, my information on WoW is based on BFA, which was what, freaking years. So
dude, I'm playing Pally, which I've got hundreds of hours with, and I'm just like, wait, and Ret consecration drops off of my spirit. What? Huh? When did this happen? But I went prot, and when did spinny hammers become a thing for prot? I feel like I'm playing a Crusader in Diablo 3.
BFA players loved BFA. Wait, excuse me. Dragonflight players loved Dragonflight. But when I watched that summary of like their lore, I think outside of like the stone dragon taking the amulet, like they just didn't even touch it lore wise. So it's that's the thing. It's a wild thing. But yeah, no, Dragon's right too. You can recruit from anywhere. You can have cross faction. You just really can't quest together. So if you want to like be in the open world with us in any regard, being on the same server is why you would want that.
Yeah. So we're going back to our original home server back in 2005.
Yeah.
When I installed World of Warcraft for the first time, I had a childhood friend that I'd known since preschool named Brian, who was like, "Oh, I'm playing with my roommates," and we weren't together anymore because he was up at FSU. "I'm playing with my roommate named Kyle," he told me. "You should come roll on Lightbringer." And I did, Alliance side, because that's what he told me to do. And then when I got to level 20, which was quite the feat for me because I was very bad at playing the game, Brian informed me that his roommates had convinced him to go Horde instead, and I was abandoned on my...
That's technically not my fault. I had a level 60 mage, which is now level 25, I guess, due to like
level squish
scaling. Man. Yeah, like level squish over the years. So I still have a really weird, Dread Mist mage on the server that I guess I could play. But yeah, that'd be my roommate Rich. He wanted to be a shaman, and he wanted to be a troll. So
the most afraid I've ever been in a vehicle was when your roommate Rich was driving us to Halloween Horror Nights. You weren't there for that.
He piloted vehicles roughly.
Yes,
in his college
Rich, if this ever ends up in front of you, you are one of the only people on Earth to drive a vehicle in a way that actually made me a little frightened.
We've all grown immensely since then. That was 15 years ago. Did you know that? Damn.
Yes, because I was reminded that Katie and my first date was 22 years ago over the weekend. So there's a lot of things in my head right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was a good Halloween Horror Nights. That was fun.
And there should be a lot of things in your head right now, too, because we got lots of streams coming at you this week. That's my segue. Sorry, I interrupted your story, though.
That's all right. That's all I needed to say. Let's go post this podcast. I've only got a few more hours of Pandaria Remix, and I need a third Paladin. Let's go.
Let's see you tomorrow, everybody, with more MSQ. Thanks for watching. Thank you to our guest.
Thanks again to Husky. Go subscribe to Husky by the Geek. Dude is so close to 100,000 subs. Go. Run, do not.